Guys, here we go. It's the transfer period, the January transfer, and the Premier League has been very busy. I think the Premier League has spent more than 10 times, 100 times more than any other league in the world in this period. So, a lot to talk about. And I think in order for us to go systematically, I think we can start with the way teams are in the league. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Guys, welcome.
we can start from the top of the league.
Let's first of all introduce ourselves. My name is Kelvin Washira.
I am Emmanuel Obiri.
I'm Danzuki.
The reason you see Dan very sad is because they're not doing any signings. But before we get to Dan, let's start with Arsenal. I think Arsenal have improved depth is where they needed to. And they have gotten some quality players. Probably not the players they wanted, but they're quality. So for Arsenal, they have signed Leandro Trossard. They have signed a centre-back, Jakub Kiwoyir. I think that's his name. And then the potential Jorginho. Actually, Jorginho is, I think, almost complete. It's just the announcement that is waiting. What do you think of the transfers? Are they good? And how will you rate Arsenal's transfer window? Oh, and Lokanga is the only player to have left Arsenal.
Does it mean that the signing of Jorginho is a backup for Caicedo, right?
Yeah, because potential Caicedo deal not going through, so we are signing a replacement for the 6.
Yeah, we think it's a potential deal. Are you sure it's gone through? I'm not so sure.
The
But
Caicedo.
the Jorginho deal.
The Jorginho deal is here we go.
Here we go.
It's here we go.
By Fabrizio.
Yeah.
Alright, so, well, I think it's because maybe Chelsea are getting in a midfielder, so that is something.
No, I want us to rate the Arsenal window, not the Chelsea window.
Yeah, but I think Trossard is a good signing. It's a good backup, especially now that Arsenal do not have enough depth in terms of who they can play in the wings. I also think that maybe they needed the midfield position for Jorginho because Partey has been having an injury scare.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure how long it would take for him, but
Who?
Partey.
He's fit. Apparently, it was just a scare. After the MRI scans, it showed he will be fit for the Everton game.
All right. So, but I think.
But El Neni is now injured for potentially 3 months. So that is why we needed to get somebody in there ASAP. With the injury to El Neni, that means we had no backup to Partey. And Lokanga has been on and off, so not reliable enough for us to rely on him for the remainder of the season in case Partey gets injured. So it was necessary considering we have the UEL games. We had to get somebody to play as a backup to Partey. And with El Neni injured, I think, to me, yes, Caicedo would have been better, but not for 100 million. As in, that's too much. I think the most I would have gone for Caicedo is 70. Even that 80 being discussed was too much.
Yeah, but I know Brighton have a reputation in terms of selling.
Yeah, they set a valuation and they don't sell less than that, and they don't care who you are. Pay that or go.
Yeah, and I think it's a good approach, to be honest, because I have a feeling maybe it's good for them as a team because.
Let's finish with Arsenal. Stop talking about Brighton.
Yeah, but generally I feel the valuation was a little bit higher, and Arsenal also have a reputation of not overpaying, so it's a win-win situation for both clubs. But
how do you think How do you think Trossard and Jorginho and okay, let's not talk
those
about
are just backups.
Yeah, how do you think they're going to help Arsenal? Do you think they are good additions or just a waste of money? And how will you rate Arsenal's window so far, assuming nobody else comes in?
Well, I think Arsenal have also done a few of desperate signings, if you ask me, because if you ask me, Caicedo and Jorginho are probably not the same type of players. It's like when you don't get what you want, then you go for a player available in the market. Jorginho is a good addition, but I'm not so sure he will give them the same quality that they wanted, and probably he's just a backup. They needed to have depth, to be honest, but if you ask me, I think they should just have gotten to the bill and bought Caicedo, if you really ask me, because
so overspend 90 million on Caicedo. Somebody who has only played
Well,
probably this. Yes.
I think they could have gotten him for 80. Yeah, because honestly, the transfer market, it's either you scout well, or if you really want a player, you have to get to the bill. Because you would definitely get people like the transfer markets generally have been.
Dan, what are your thoughts?
I think Arsenal have made really good transfers.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Trossard play against Man City in was it the FA game?
Yeah, it was the FA game.
That guy played really well. He was creating chances. He was getting shots on goal. We were lucky because our goalkeeper, Ortega. Is it Ortega? Yeah, he pulled up some really good saves. So I think Arsenal for some time we thought that they had this one squad where they couldn't rotate. You could see the same squad lining up for FA, lining up for Carabao and Premier League. But now they have the Europa games coming up, and it was necessary for them to have these transfers coming in. For me, I'll disagree with Emmanuel. I think Jorginho is a very, very good signing. Actually, Chelsea are losing here.
Chelsea are losing out.
Yeah, because look at the quality of Jorginho. I mean, both international in club, his involvement in the team is very critical, and I think he'll come in and stabilize Arsenal's squad in terms of depth and also options.
How would you rate Arsenal's transfer out of 10?
Out of 10, I'll give them an 8.
8. Very good. Obiru didn't give a rating.
My rating is a 7. Yeah, because I mean, if you really want a player, I just think closure is important. So the thing of wanting Modric and ending up with Trossard.
Let me talk. Chelsea fans are used to overpaying. How do they pay 120 million for Enzo Fernandez? Somebody who has barely played any good football, and then that you pay 100 million for a player who has only played half a season of football. That's way too much. That's overpaying for a player. And to me, I sometimes say you can pay, but pay for whatever. You pay a price for something that you get. You see, for Caicedo, he's probably a 60 million player, 50 million. But I would have gone up to 70, not 90 million. Because you don't overpay to a certain level. Because then it will affect your future buys. Whenever you go to the market, people will be like, pay this or go home. Because they know you will always overpay. So you need to create that if you put your valuation too high, no problem. Just look for somebody else. You see?
I'm just thinking, by valuation here, I'm going for... I just think if you really scout very well,
this is the January transfer window. Scouting is not necessarily as important because you cannot get clubs are not willing to lose. That's why sometimes they overprice their players. It's the January transfer window in the middle of the season. No team wants to weaken themselves, especially with the Brighton deal. Probably they would have gone to 70 million if we had gone at the start of January and not at the end of January. They had only 4 days to look for a replacement of a very important player to them, which was almost impossible for them to do. So they just had to agree and say either that, pay some crazy amount of money, or don't come for a player at all. You see, so for me, Arsenal probably should have done better to get our transfers, but I don't blame them. There is no way we are paying 100 million for Modric. Even that 80 million they were talking about was too much for my head. How is he even 80 million? Somebody who has barely played any football. He has only played this season. He has not been playing. He has less than 4,000 minutes of football in his whole pro career. That's not 100 million player. You need somebody who is proven, who can handle the intensity of football, whose decision making is good. Yes, he played some good games in the UCL, but still, 100 million was too much for me. So Trossard, good player, short-term deal, steady the ship, help us win the league number 14, and see what happens in the summer. We have a chance to sign different players. Let's go to our centre-back depth. That Jakub guy, I've never seen him, I've just seen comps of him. And he looks like a very decent player. In the World Cup, he played well, so we needed depth at left centre-back. So, tick for me. We'll play Europa League games and get some experience from there. And probably when he comes in for, let's say, Magalhaes, if in case he gets injured, I think he's better than Rob Holding. Because Rob Holding, as we saw in the FA, he was being manhandled by Haaland and his positioning, and he lacks space. So, for me, Jakub is, okay, good depth, potential for the future, young. Let's go to midfield.
Jorginho.
We wanted Caicedo. Caicedo would have been phenomenal for Arsenal. He would have replaced Xhaka and come in for Partey seamlessly. He would have been probably the best. But then we can't pay 90 million even though it's January. That's why we were willing to even overpay to 70, 75, but not 90 million. 90 was too much. So for me, Caicedo, good deal, but what do we really need? If he does not come, we are potentially going to go for Rice in the summer, who is a better player than Caicedo. So get somebody in who is going to help us with squad depth now and potentially next season when we integrate Rice into our team. Who is better than Jorginho? I don't think there is a midfielder who can come and fit into the Arsenal system right now better than Jorginho. Jorginho is a pass master. Jorginho is somebody who knows how to cool everything down. He knows how to maintain possession. And we are a possession-based team. If we are able to get somebody who can be able to help us continue keeping that possession, we are going to kill you. And people say about Jorginho not being good off the ball. The only reason people say that is because they expect Jorginho to run 60 minutes. Not everybody can run 60 yards and catch up with players and bully them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it needs you to be smart enough to intercept your passes. Pass is coming, know when it's coming. Jorginho is superb at that. Don't give him 100 yards of space to run to. You are going to be crying he's a bad player. He won the UCL with Chelsea. He won the Euros with Italy. He was the best player, best midfielder at that time. Why? He was phenomenal. People will say because they had Kante. Trust you me, there is a reason Kante was there. Jorginho is good.
Before you go so far, I just want to ask you one question. So if you are the coach of Arsenal right now, and you are subbing a midfielder, and you're bringing in Jorginho, who do you sub?
Partey, he's coming in for Partey.
All right.
Yes. He's coming to play as a 6 for us. And people will say he's not as defensively good as Partey. Yes, I might agree. But then, our system does not need to be as good as Partey for you to help. It just needs you to be smart. Because we play in a way that when we press high, we have Zinchenko, Partey, and White in that 3. And then we have the centre-back, Saliba and Gabriel covering behind them. And these people press high, so they don't run into too much space. And when the ball is played in behind, the centre-backs are the one who run to the ball. You see? So, and Ben White and Zinchenko are also good enough to come and cover. It does not really need Jorginho to be too fast. Whatever you need him to do is intercept the ball before it is played through you. And he's good at that. So for me, there is no better midfielder who could have gotten apart from Jorginho. Jorginho is probably the best player, squad player we can get at this time with that amount of money. And then we go for Rice in the summer. So for me, I will give it an 8. And the reason it's probably not higher, we did not get our first choice signing. But I don't blame them. It's the January window. But probably the Caicedo deal they should have started early. Though actually the reason we are actually trying to sign a midfielder is the injury to El Neni, which we did not know about until like 1 week ago when we started pursuing the Caicedo deal. That is why we actually were looking for a midfielder, because El Neni is potentially injured for 3 to 4 months, so probably the whole season. So we needed somebody in, and that's why I don't blame them. I'll give them an 8 easily. Good deal for Arsenal. Got players who will improve the squad depth, because right now at Arsenal, when we move from Partey, we go to Lokanga. Is Lokanga better than Jorginho? No, he's not.
Well, fine. Me, I agree with you totally. But I just think that whereas Jorginho is not the perfect, if you ask me, that is my opinion. He's not the perfect replacement for Partey, but he offers something different that can be as good as containing the opposition from attacking him. So
anyway,
it's probably the same, but I think...
the question I will ask is, if we did not get Jorginho, who better would we have gotten?
If you ask me, I think you guys should have gone for a more defensive minded.
Who is available? The problem is who is available. Because there is no way, I'm endorsing a 90 million for Caicedo. He's good, but he's not 90 million. If we go for 90 million, then Rice is probably 200 million. Why should we pay 90 million for Caicedo? When we try to get Rice in the summer, that means Rice is going to probably be more. So why just say, if you want to keep your player, then go for Rice in the summer, and then we have Charlie Patino coming back. Actually, I think I might also be biased, because to me, when Caicedo was coming, I was a bit afraid, because I have two midfielders I want to come into Arsenal next season. We have Charlie Patino is on loan. I want him to come and replace Xhaka. And with Caicedo in, he will probably be playing ahead of Charlie Patino, and that will not have gone well with me. And Xhaka is Xhaka. Will probably continue playing for Arsenal even next season. And then I wanted Rice to come in the summer. And if Rice came, then that means we have Partey, Rice, and Caicedo as to play 6. So it would have probably either meant we do not get Rice or something. So to me, I was like, if it does not go well, as long as we get somebody. With Jorginho, I am extremely happy. People will cry, Jorginho. Trust you me. Let's talk about Jorginho end of season. He will be the one who has helped Arsenal win the league.
Wow.
He'll be the one who has helped Arsenal win the league. Anyway,
Yeah, we need to go
let's go to the next team. Dan, do the honors.
Well, it has been a very relaxed transfer window for Man City. Apart from yesterday, we just woke up one
Bombshell.
morning and boom, Cancelo is going to Bayern on a loan deal.
But it's a loan with the option to buy, I think.
Yeah. So I don't see him coming back
Yeah,
to Man
he's likely
City,
to go.
honestly. He'll go to Bayern.
How much is? I think it's a 60 million option to buy.
Yeah,
Seven-
it was 70. I think it was 70.
70.
I doubt Bayern will activate that, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so again, I mean, Man City groups, the reactions were crazy. Some people are saying it's okay, he can go. Some were saying that we don't know what Pep is doing.
Is he crazy?
Yeah, because honestly, I think Cancelo's performance in Man City was exceptional.
Yeah,
He's a
it's
really good player,
But yes,
both defensively and attacking. But I think the current squad kinda doesn't favor him.
and I also think they fell out with Pep after the World Cup, because before the World Cup he was one of probably your starters, and then after the World Cup, nowhere to be seen.
You see, after the World Cup, I've seen him playing like 2 games. One game
Exactly.
he started as a number 7 ahead
Yeah,
of Kyle Walker.
yeah.
They played only the first half, then they were both substituted at halftime.
So,
Then the other game, I think he came in as a sub, and that was it for Cancelo.
mhm.
I think for him, he also wasn't patient enough. I think him getting the Bayern option was better for him just to go. And people are saying, what are the sins? Cancelo assisting Sane for them to knock us out of the UCL.
Yeah.
And then they celebrate. Hat-trick.
Crazy, but yeah. So I think we've brought in one player. I don't know much about him. I think Maximo Peron.
Where does he play?
I have no idea.
Probably in the academy. He's going to go to academy. Huh? I think he's a midfielder.
He's Valence Saffield. Yeah.
Waste
Oh,
of
it's
it.
me.
Yeah, so
How will you rate the window now that it's just an outgoing?
I think Man City, we did our transfers during the summer, the previous summer.
So it's still a good window.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good window.
If you
We
don't
How will you rate it?
we don't have much to spend. I think our squad fairly looks okay. In as much as you guys insist we need wingers, I think our squad looks okay. Yeah, so I'm happy with this transfer, this January transfer window. But going into
the summer.
the
They need to buy
we
it.
need to
Now answer the question. Let's stop avoiding it.
Like what difference does it make then if they need to buy?
you see, for now I think
It's
looking at-
difficult to get your targets
yeah.
because let me say, for example, City, Arsenal are linked. Okay, City mostly are linked with the Milan left winger. What's his name?
Leo.
Leao, Rafael Leao.
Yeah.
I've seen City are looking at an attacking option, but there is no way you're getting Leao in January.
Yeah.
No way. Even if you pay 120 million, Leao himself will not want to come, and I don't think AC Milan will want to, because if they lose Leao now, they'll probably not make top 4 and not make the Champions League. And they're also, let's say, fighting in quotes, because I think Napoli will run away with the title. But let's say they're still fighting for the Scudetto, so they need to keep Leao. So there's no way they're getting him. So which attacker could they get? It's almost impossible for City to get an attacker now. So I think to me, it fairly good enough, because Cancelo is not getting into the team, and he probably looks like those people will be moody if they don't get into the team, which will affect the squad chemistry. And also I think that will be a push to the other players. If you do not perform in the summer you're going, the Bernardo Silvas and whoever and Walker and whatever, it's if Cancelo went and he was one of the best players in start of the season, then nobody else can stay, you will also go. So you need to be careful. You need to be sure you are playing. So I think, to me, I'll give it a 4. Okay, even a 4 is a match. And let me give a 3. Let me give it a 3 because Cancelo leaving is going to hurt them, because if Ake gets injured, then who will they play at left back? Maybe they have changed the system, but they still need somebody and something to change. In case that system doesn't work, you need something. And Cancelo was doing well at left back. So I think, yeah, it's not good depth-wise, but if it helps the squad morale, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. That's why I'm giving it a 3.
Yeah, I'm sure if Mr. City was here,
Mr. City, you missed.
he would have given Man City an 11 probably.
But him, let me just put a quote. We have a group that we talk. He gave a quote. He said he does not really care because even Haaland can play left back and they'll still win. But he also said what he knows is any player who leaves Man City and Pep, they probably go and do worse than when they were at City. And I will agree with you, unfortunately, because I think there at Bayern he's going to get exposed. But Cancelo is not the best defensive astute players. He gets masked with City's system. But now, let's say Bayern, because they face a lot of transitions, if he gets to face those tricky wingers in the Bundesliga and in the UCL, I think it's going to be bad, and maybe Bayern will not even activate that buy option. So yeah, that's a very interesting one. So I think
for me, I would say City are doing fairly badly in their transfer window, especially because I kind of feel sometimes it's important to have even if just one important signing to freshen up things.
You need somebody.
Because maybe in the January, the latter half of the season, you might need to have a good run, and probably you've seen sometimes City is dropping in the levels, and they might need somebody to just keep the squad freshen up. And I would say a 5 is okay because, again, they don't really need to sign much. It's more like a 50-50 thing. So yeah.
A 5. Yeah. And it's badly. Wow. Let's go to the other one. I think today we have so many teams. We will try and rush these things up. So let's go to Newcastle. I think the biggest one is Anthony Gordon from Everton going to Newcastle. What do you think about the deal, Obiri?
Well, Anthony Gordon is a very good deal. I think Newcastle needs they need this sort of players, the sort of Almirons, the sort of Anthony Gordon who run. He suits the system. So Anthony Gordon to me is like a 9 for them, because I mean he's a young player, he's creative, he has the energy, he can take them forward. Again, the system is nice, and seems like Eddie Howe knows how to use players. So
I think the biggest question is you wanted him in the summer for 60 million and you were not able to get it through, and now he's going for 40 million.
Well, things have changed because by then Tuchel was the one who was driving.
Yeah, but 60 for 40. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's not for Chelsea. It's not really about the money. It's about...
Let me ask you: if now he's going for 40, would you have gone for him?
Really, I don't really think they would, because I told you, it's the change of systems with Chelsea. Like probably Tuchel would have required him, but now maybe Graham Potter has a different view. So it does not necessarily mean that we buy out of fun, but we also have to look at the system. Probably right now he does not fit to whatever the plans they have. So that is why you see in the summer we had to spend like 200 and something million, and now we are spending close to 400. I think so.
Anyway, that's interesting. Dan, Anthony Gordon to Newcastle, good or bad?
It's a very good transfer for Newcastle. I think I'll agree with Emmanuel. Yeah, I think Newcastle are building that team that will be consistent for some seasons to come. Yeah, so seeing such players coming in is really good for their squad depth, and also for them to challenge for these titles. You've seen Chris Wood has gone for
to Nottingham Forest for loan. So. But I don't think it affects the team that much, because he was not getting minutes and he was not as good for them.
Is back.
Yeah, Isaac is back, and we have Wilson. So I don't think they really needed him, and he was not doing well. So good deal for Newcastle. I think I love actually what Newcastle are doing. They are not, because they have money. They are not just going and splashing money like some team in blue. They're spending it wisely and signing players that they actually need for good money. Anthony Gordon, I think, is the player they will actually need, and he's going to play well for them because he's somebody who can create for them. He's somebody who has shots in him. So he's somebody who can do it, and then he can play in the Almiron role, run and try to create. And he's still physical, like what Newcastle want. He's technical, he's physical, he can create. He seems like somebody who will fight on the pitch for Newcastle. So good deal for them. I think Newcastle, I'll give them a 7 out of, actually even let me just say an 8 out of 10, or a 7 out of 10, because good deals, good signings. Probably could have done better.
7
but
is slightly okay.
yeah, because in order for you to get a 10, that means you've addressed every area that you need to address. So
Oh, you're just addressing Newcastle as a whole. Huh?
yeah. So I'll give it a 7. I think, is there anything to add, or we move to the next
I
team?
don't think the other player is Ashby. I don't know much about him from West Ham.
Yeah, I don't even. I think now we go to the team in red from
Nottingham.
Manchester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manchester United.
Manchester United. So Manchester lost Dubravka. Newcastle wanted him back, so he went back from loan, and they signed Jack Butland, and then
And Wood.
and they needed a striker and went for Wout Weghorst. And now that Eriksen is injured, I hear they were going for Sabitzer. I don't know if they'll be able to get that deal over the line before deadline day. But anyway, interesting. And then they lost Cristiano Ronaldo, and I don't know. Is there any, I don't know. I just know Cristiano, the biggest thing maybe we can talk about. But yeah, so their signings and potential Sabitzer. What do you think? Billy, let's start.
If chances are they'll have to overpay for Sabitzer if they're gonna get
I think it's a loan, probably an option to buy.
Yeah, and again, probably if they do a loan move, that's where they get to negotiate, because they have more time to even study the quality of the player. But I think it's important for them to sign, because Eriksen is very fundamental to them. Probably Sabitzer is not the same type as Eriksen, but he offers them the option to try a few things, as Eriksen is still out injured. But I think the Sabitzer is a really good deal, because I have seen him play, and I think he's a wonderful player. So I would just say for him it's a 7. Yeah, he's a good deal.
No, the give Manchester as a whole and not
As a
Fulham.
whole,
Yeah, as a whole. With Weghorst
For Weghorst,
and Butland.
I'm not so sure. I haven't seen his productivity as yet. He does not, to me, he seems like a backup striker more than a main striker. So I think for him, I'd say it's a 6, and then for whole Manchester United, it's a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean they already, for them, they do not really need to sign a lot of players. Probably get a striker who would be the main striker instead of Wood. And now that Eriksen is out, they're trying to sign a player of such quality. It's still a good window. It's a 7.
Done.
Yeah, I think for Butland, I think he's a good goalkeeper. There's a team who was playing for Stoke.
I think yeah.
Yeah, so those days I used to see him making good saves. For the other striker, I'm not really sure. I won't say much about him, but he got a goal. Yeah, he got a goal
in those small
FA.
cups.
in the FA. Is it FA?
No, the other one, Carabao.
And you see, the beauty about United, I think that they're in most competitions now
I think in all competitions.
competitions.
Yeah, I think for 2 weeks more, and then they will leave most of those competitions.
Yeah, because I think they already have one foot in the Carabao finals.
Yeah, I think I don't know who they're playing the same.
Nottingham.
Is it semis or finals?
It's for semis and then final.
They did what was it 3-0 or 1-0 in Nottingham.
Yeah, they did.
So they are going to the final versus Newcastle.
Yeah, they go to the finals with Newcastle.
Yeah.
My Magpies.
So, yeah, and also the FA, I think they also won versus
Reading, yeah.
They're also challenging for the title. I'm not really sure.
They're out of the race.
Are they in Europe or they're in the conference?
Yeah, that's why I said for a few weeks, because they're in the Europa, but they will play Barcelona,
Yeah.
and the way Barcelona are playing, I don't know. Okay, for me, Manchester United, good signings. They needed the backup striker. Vegost is good. He can act as a focal point and is something different to Martial. And Martial this season seems not to get over his injuries. With the Dubravka going, they needed a goalkeeper who can potentially play with his feet. Butler, not bad, not good, but good, decent backup because he was still in the Premier League, so can't fault him that much. Who else? So and some potential Sabitzer are signing. I don't know if they'll be able to get it over the line, but they need to because with Eriksen injured, they are now short. They're a bit light in midfield, and what Eriksen does is help them control the game from the sixth position sometimes when Casemiro adjusts. So without getting him and Eriksen potentially dead for 3 months, it's going to be tough for Manchester. They need to get that deal over the line. They have to get that deal over the line.
You see the thing about...
And also something else, I think Chelsea are also in the mix. So Manchester United might be facing a Chelsea coup again.
not really. So what I wanted to say about Manu is for them to get players, I think they usually give them big wages, and mostly if they overpay wages, then okay, it's an attractive prospect for a player, but then sometimes they end up incurring a loss. So for them, they've been using that trick for a while, and I think it's been working because players like Ronaldo and the guy from Arsenal and quite a few, Manu has a very big wage bill. So, but I think it's a possibility that they can get him because they have
I don't know, but interesting. No, I wouldn't call they have it because they do not sign anyone apart from the loan deals and so they probably don't have enough money. So I don't know how much they can flex in the market to get Sabitzer.
They're in a transition as well, right?
Yeah, they're in a transition and they seem not to have the money. I think they're waiting until they see if they will make Champions League or not. But interesting enough. I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I want them to get Sabitzer or not. But anyway, it will be good for them. So as a Manchester United fan, you definitely want him. As competition, I don't think you really want that deal to go over the line. But anyway, let's move on very, very swiftly. Tottenham, the team you are playing next. So Dan, you have the honors.
So I'm saying they signed a player called on loan, Anad Danjuma. Personally, I don't know much about the guy.
He was actually supposed to go to Everton and then Tottenham hijacked the deal after he has cried he's coming to help Everton survive relegation and then...
Yeah, so and again, it's his birthday today. So I'm just saying a tweet from Tottenham wishing him a happy birthday.
So yeah, I think he's a winger.
Yeah. So Tottenham... Fairly, I can say fairly a good signing, but again, we have to see how.
And also, something else. I think they have now gotten a here we go for the Pedro Porro guy who is going to play wing back. I don't know anything about him. I've never seen him play, but I've seen people talking about him being good. I don't know how good he is, but yeah, another potential. And they've also lost Brian Gill to I think I don't know in that team. On loan to
Sevilla.
To Sevilla. So
and they've signed a player from I think Chelsea. Jude Soonsup-Bell. I don't know.
Soonsup-Bell. But it's a development squad thing, so
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So he might not be a starter for now, but maybe in the future.
So
but I just think Tottenham did not really require many signing because if you look at Tottenham very well, they have the quality. They probably have like 2 strikers in Harry Kane and a very, very, very good squad. I think it's more of the system and the coach than the players because they can be signing as many, but their levels have dropped immensely. I'm not so sure because to me, I think it's the system maybe that doesn't suit the players.
Okay. I think Spurs, they needed to upgrade. I don't know what happened to Jed Spence because I think has he gone out on loan? I don't know. I was hearing rumors he was supposed to leave. I don't know what happened because I remember him killing us when he was at Nottingham.
Yeah.
He was killing us in the FA and they threw us out because of him. And then somehow he has not played any game for Spurs. If you are a Spurs fan and you know why he's not playing, please educate us because I have no idea. I just do not see him anywhere. I don't know if he came and abused Conte or what happened. Right wing back, yes, and he's not playing. I don't know why.
But I think the competition from the
no competition. You want to tell me Emerson Royal is better than Jed Spence? Never, no way.
It's not really that he's better. It's more of the system.
Which system? Jed Spence is probably the most best player to play in that system as a right wing back. There is no way. Who do they play there? Doherty, I don't know. Emerson Real does not even come close to Jet Spence, unless they say maybe his mentality or whatever in the training ground. But quality wise for that position, Jet Spence is way better than anyone else they can try and put there. He has the running power, he has the defensive nose, he knows how to pick a pass. Emerson Real cannot pick a pass to save his life. So there is no you can tell me it's because Emerson is better for him in that position. Never.
Like I told you, it is not necessarily what you think. It's more or less that. To me, I think it's more or less what Conte has a bias towards to a certain kind of players. Probably for you think for a system, Spence is better, but.
Let me ask you a question. So whatever you want to say, with that system, you want to tell me Emerson Royal plays better and will play better than Jet Spence?
Of course, I would disagree. That he did. Of course, I would
like, what I'm saying is you have no idea why he's not playing, but you cannot say it's because he does not have the quality to play that position.
For me, what I'm trying to say is they have more options, and Conte has chosen his right back.
Yes, but that the reason he has chosen Emerson Real over anybody else is why we don't know why. That is why I'm asking people who might know why. Because quality-wise, to me and probably everybody else, Jet Spence is good. Jet Spence was signed for 60 million. There is no you sign somebody for 60 million if he's not supposed to come and play. Either one, he's injured and has a very big injury probably that he's not able to recover, or he came and told the manager, don't want to say that word, but he told that manager that word, and the manager said, you know what, you're not even going to get into my team. Because I don't get it. I have no idea. Because this has to be a player and manager issue. Anyway, but they have gotten another right wing back. I don't know what will happen to Jet Spence. So Pedro Porro, don't have any idea. So Spurs fans who listen to the podcast, please educate us. How is he? Is he good? How good is he? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. Where do we go next?
I think Brighton.
Biri, your competition. Please.
I think Brighton are doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing pretty well because one, they had the balls to offload the Trossard when they needed to, because it was getting toxic for him and for the club. And two, that they have a good way of selling players, and they do not bow out. I would say, for me, that is a good policy or strategy in terms of if you are a mid-table team, like I would say for like Brighton, and probably your revenue is not as big as the big boys, then you would need to, in case you're selling your best players, you need to sell them at a good price for you to reinvest it back to the club, as opposed to bowing out in January. Because I feel like Brighton are getting better as the time goes by, and they might actually get to a Europa League if they continue with the trend.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would just say for Trossard, it was needful for. I am not so sure whether Caicedo will go over the line, because the transfer window is not yet over.
Yeah, guys, I don't know if we are discussing this on the night of the transfer, so not all these are done. That things can change. That's why we are saying we are not sure what is happening. We are only talking about the deals that are already done and the deals that are potentially to be done. So when you probably watch this, the window will have closed. So yeah.
But what I would say is Brighton have proven to have a very good scouting team. Because they are producing superstars in the team. So I would just say I trust their scouting team with the players they are getting in, the likes of Jamie and Fashundo and Yassin. So I would just think their scouting team is just on point. Mm-hmm. So I would just say they are doing a great job.
I don't know who they have brought in, but I do not know Mitoma until he was starting to kill. So I do not comment about Brighton but they have signed 3 players. I think Biri has mentioned them, and then the only player, not the only player, the biggest player probably that is out is Leandro Trossard. Mm-hmm. I think he's the top scorer this season, but he needed to leave because they were not in terms with the goalkeeper. So he is somebody who actually needed to go. So not big of a fuss, he needed to go. So but not a bad deal. So,
Not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal. Good for them, and they are trying to. They don't want to lose Caicedo as they don't have a replacement yet, especially this time in the window and they cannot sign. We don't know what will happen because we hear Caicedo is in London. We don't know which side of London, but I don't know if it's going to go through. But anyway, yeah. So Brighton are good. They did not lose somebody who will hurt them that much. Done.
Yeah, so I think I'll let you guys opinions on Brighton just to be like that. So let's go to Fulham. Fulham have not brought in anyone. They've taken out someone on loan. I think Anthony Knockaert.
Don't think there is much talk about in Fulham.
yeah,
Let's just go to Leeds.
Leeds have brought McKennie.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we can talk about, Tristan McKinney. I think there was somebody else wanted to hijack. I don't know if it's Brentford or somebody, but there was somebody wanted to hijack the deal, the deal for Leeds. But interesting.
Yeah.
They got Tristan McKinney. Who else?
That's Leeds.
I think Leeds have just brought
They have Weston McKinney. They
on
have
loan, right?
Yeah, but I think it's an option to buy. But Juventus have many problems. They have been fined. They have negative 15 in the league. They are fighting. I don't know if it's relegation or what. But Juventus are not somewhere good. They are not somewhere good. But anyway, good
to
for
Brentford.
let's go to Brentford. Actually, yeah.
So Brentford, I think they're getting Kevin Shedd from Weinberg on loan, and so Romeo Beckham from Inter Milan on loan.
Don't know who they are.
Don't know who
Hopefully,
they are, yeah.
but
Again, a lot of players going out on loan from Brentford.
I think they are
Again, I
academy
think
players.
this mid-table teams, we only know players once they start performing in the Premier League and maybe their qualities. People like Tony. We didn't know them before the start of the season, or maybe before they started.
Before they came to the Premier League,
Premier League. So I think the other big team we can talk about is Liverpool, guys.
Yeah, I think we can go to Liverpool. I think the biggest issue I have with Liverpool is why the hell did you sign Cody Gakpo? Cody Gakpo is not a winger, he's a striker. You have two good strikers. You have Firmino, you have Nunes, you have even Diego Jota. Why the hell are you signing Cody Gakpo? Guys, they needed midfielders. They needed a CDM, they needed a CM. And then you go and sign. You should have even been for Caicedo or somebody. How the hell do you go and sign for Cody Gakpo? It makes no sense to me. I don't know what is happening with Liverpool because they were the kings of recruitment. They were recruiting wise, fast, good players, gems in the market. I don't know.
I think they have a pressure of replacing Mane.
Yeah.
I think since Mane left, they haven't gotten that player who creates these chances, take on these chances and converts them. So I think the biggest suffering Liverpool are having this season is that trying to replace the Mane effect in the team. Yeah. Again, having Nunes coming in and
not scoring.
It's frustrating for them.
But
so you kind of get why they needed someone.
But then the problem is
the attacking.
Go for the loan because one, Nunes was 100 million. You cannot sell him next season. Yeah. You have Diogo Jota. Yes, he's injured now, but then he's going to come back. For Bobby Firmino, they gave him a contract extension, so he's probably still going to be there. And then you go ahead and sign Cody Gakpo in January, and he's coming and he's still not performing. And then you start crying. They have no money for a midfielder. To me, I will say yes, the Nunes was not scoring, but their biggest issue was not even Nunes not scoring. Their biggest issue was their midfield because their best strength was their pressing. And their pressing, the midfield was key to them because they had the physicality, the aggressiveness. But now their Hendersons look weak and they don't look aggressive. They don't look fast enough. They don't look fit enough. So they needed to get somebody. They should have even been the ones fighting for Caicedo or somebody else to put in there because, I don't know, they needed somebody more in the midfield rather than in attack. Because now they have Cody Gakpo and the attack still looks lopsided. It does not look as good. With Diaz injured, I don't know how long he's still going to be out. But now they don't have that winger. Jota is out. Yeah. I don't know. Liverpool are just... I'll give them a 2 out of 10.
For me, I feel that they thought that Gakpo would replicate his World Cup thing. And he would come straight and have the knock-on effect. Like you see the way Spurs don't play very well, but Harry Kane will just get a goal out of nowhere. So they needed somebody who could just score goals And looking at how they play, because I remember the last match with Liverpool was Chelsea, and you can imagine Fabinho and Henderson on the bench. That tells you how much problems they have in the midfield. They should have gone for somebody who could help them strengthen up the midfield. I'm not so sure whether Liverpool, because I think Liverpool and Chelsea have the same midfield problem in terms
Really?
of the.
But Naja, the way you play is a little bit different because for Liverpool, the biggest strength was their pressing. For you, it's not really about the pressing. You can probably sit back. But Liverpool used to press and suffocate you with their midfield and everybody else. But now, without doing that, they are getting caught out of possession way more times.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, and probably they still have the same players that they used to press with, but
they are no longer fit enough.
But I just think, if you ask me, I get that maybe the Gakpo was not as needful as you can say right now. But by then, when they were signing, it made a lot of sense because Salah is no longer scoring goals. This guy from this guy Nunes is no longer scoring goals. So I just think sometimes you try to solve the immediate problem, but you do not see the ripple effect of where exactly the genesis of the problem is. The problem is either the midfield, but they are trying to get more scorers to score.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving it a 2 because address the issue first. I think the whole problem starts. Thiago is a good player, but he was not the system player for Liverpool. Unless they were planning to change the system, I do not get why they signed Thiago also. But Thiago is good, but then he's not. They needed a Wijnaldum, runner, bullying, and he's still able to pass the ball. Thiago is superb on the ball more than Wijnaldum, but can he run as much? Can he bully as much? So I'm saying that is when the problem started for Liverpool in recruitment. With the Thiago signing, and then they went Diaz good, but Nunes, but Liverpool don't pay for 100 million, and then the Nunes does not score what they want. To me, Nunes is still a good player. He will probably start scoring because that guy, when he starts, I was seeing when he was in Benfica, that guy was a menace. So he will probably be better. Was he worth 100 million? No. The reason why I was saying don't overpay for a player, but they needed somebody. Now look, they have Gakpo still not performing. They have Nunes, Firmino injured, Jota injured. 4 players in one position. Anyway, done. Anything to say there, or we go to the team?
I think I've already said the much I could say about Liverpool. So maybe we go to Chelsea.
Hey guys, before we start with Chelsea, go get your water, go get something to drink because Chelsea.
We need to finish with Chelsea actually.
Chelsea have signed more than every other Premier League team probably combined. Chelsea,
actually, I saw a picture showing their squad depth. It's like they have 3 players in every position.
I swear, I was seeing memes where they were saying when Chelsea players report to the training ground, and then it looks. I don't know if you have seen that picture of many children the pitch. I saw there were like Chelsea players reporting after their injuries, and then there's another one when they are going for a team photo, and then the players are too many until you cannot see who is who and where is he. So anyway, interesting. So what do you say? Do we go to Chelsea or do we finish with Chelsea?
We need to finish with Chelsea.
So who do you talk about? Because I don't think even the rest there is somebody. Maybe Crystal
Palace.
Yeah. They have gotten. I think Sambi Lokanga is almost done. He's going to Crystal Palace. So probably by the time you watch it, you'll see if it is done or not. Leicester, they want to sign a centre back from Stoke. I've forgotten his name. But I saw they want to sign a certain centre back from Stoke. I think they should have even looked for a goalkeeper, but maybe they're looking for the summer or they are still trusting Ward. And Leicester, I think they need to get another manager. I think that's the biggest issue. It's not even player related per se. I think they also need to get another manager.
Aston Villa.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Aston Villa. Aston Villa, I think Aston Villa, and also need to talk about West Ham. Let's start with Aston Villa. Who have they gotten in?
So Aston Villa sold Danny Ings.
Let's start with who they have gotten in.
Alex Moreno from Real Betis, and
I think he's a left back.
John Duran.
Yeah, that Moreno guy, he has been playing, and I think I saw one of his games and he was quite decent. And then they lost Danny Ings. What do you think about that? How will it affect Aston Villa?
Well, I don't really see it affecting per se.
They don't have a substitute to Oli Watkins.
I think they have
was
several
it really
attacking options.
needful, huh?
Yeah.
Because they have several. Again, it depends on the system of Unai Emery. Again,
Unai Emery's system is sit back and counter.
yeah, so probably they would. I'm not so sure whether Danny Ings is a pacey player who would like transitions or more of a traditional centre forward. But I think as Watkins just fits that role. If you ask me, again, I think Watkins is somebody who can. Ings is somebody who can be a starter as opposed to.
So the question,
to-
I think the
to
biggest
backup.
question, and is it going to affect them? And how is it going to affect them?
I don't really think so.
So it's a good deal for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think,
I think, yeah.
it's a fair win-win situation for both the player and the club.
Okay, then good deal for them.
I think it's a good deal for Aston Villa. Again, I think the manager is the guy who knows what he wants to achieve with the team.
Yeah.
So let's see what Unai does with the rest of the
team.
squad. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think let's go to where Danny Ings went.
West Ham.
Yeah, done.
West Ham are battling
Relegation,
relegation.
yeah.
Yeah, I think West Ham really need to do a lot. David Moyes, right?
Yeah, David Moyes is still in
so
charge, but I was
I
saying
think-
if he
yeah.
does not, I don't know who was going to come in. They have an agreement with somebody. Anyway, yeah, continue.
Yeah, so I was saying, I think West Ham, they've gotten Danny Ings from Aston Villa and a guy called Luizao. I don't know which position he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
And also they've sold some interesting players. I can see Craig Dawson has gone to Wolves for 3.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Danny Ings maybe will bring in that finishing touch that maybe I think West Ham have been lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's
But
nothing
now my
much.
biggest question with West Ham is they have gotten Danny Ings, but they have Michael Antonio and Skamaka playing in the striking position. So what do they do? Does that mean, and actually Askaman he has gotten injured. But then the question
gotten
is,
injured?
Danny Ings, I think he got injured and he's going to be out for a few weeks. But the question I have is, now where will Michael, who are they going to sell, or where is somebody else going to play? Because Michael Antonio, Skamaka and Danny Ings, and they have limited minutes for all of them. So where does each one of them play? Do you think Antonio goes to the wing? I don't really think so, but
I think this is be a matter of playing the most informed player, especially in the remaining part of the season where they want to get out of the relegation
battle.
zone. So I think
They might even be requiring to be playing 2 strikers at a go.
To
get more goals.
They really need to. Yeah.
okay, interesting. So
I saw something about an Atletico Madrid defender.
yeah,
I'm not so
I
sure
think
whether
it was
it's
Nottingham, alright.
Nottingham.
I think it was Nottingham and Felipe. Is it
Yeah.
Felipe? Yeah, I don't know. It's still in discussions. I don't think it's done yet. Let me see.
It's not done yet. 'Cause
It's not done yet,
So
but
that
I don't know if it's possible. But anyway, interesting. I think the other team we may talk about is Bournemouth. Bournemouth have also signed quite a few players. I probably don't know most of those players, but
Also, Wolves have signed Sarabia.
oh, Sarabia has got Wolves.
Yes.
Yeah, Sarabia is in Wolves. That is why they had to replace. They're looking to replace Hakim Ziyech
Mhm.
from Chelsea to fill that void of So that's the thing.
yeah, so I think
we can finish with Chelsea then.
we can go to Chelsea.
Well,
Well, you were
I think
saying
with the Bournemouth.
Oh, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So I think, as you've said, most of these players we don't know them really well.
Yeah, but they have gotten quite a few players in. I think they
have
might
four
be good.
players. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a deal to look out for. I think now we can go to what everyone is waiting for.
But before we go to Chelsea, maybe in the other leagues, are there any major transfers? Maybe
But then we can
likes
talk
of
about the other
Barcelona,
leagues. Oh,
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid refused to give us Camavinga. Where do we go? Barcelona. Have Barcelona signed anyone? Don't think so. Oh, maybe the one we can talk about, Depay from Barcelona to Atletico Madrid. Yeah, and then
Joao as a replacement.
yeah, he came as Joao replacement.
Yeah, I think that might be a signal to say that Joao might just be on sale or on the run. because chances are the only reason why Joao should go back is because is when Diego Simeone is transitioned to another team or is sacked
Yeah.
or the end of his contract. But I think there is a possibility that might not happen. So the likelihood is Joao would not
We'll go back
to that league.
Anyway,
Anyway,
let's go back to Chelsea, guys.
Yeah.
so have you gotten your water? Billy,
Yeah. So
you have stolen. Let's start with the signings you stole from Arsenal.
well, this is why I'm telling you guys you should get the deals done.
No, I have no problem. You overpaid.
Because it's not really about overpaying.
You overpaid.
It's not really
You
about
overpaid.
Which
Alright.
player are we talking about?
So the 100 million player and the loan player, they overpaid almost everyone.
well, overpaying is relative.
No, you
First of all-
overpaid.
First of all, it's relative.
Is Mikalo Midric worth 100 million?
Well,
Is he worth 100 million?
all right. See. Let me just let me speak.
Let's start with a yes or a no and then continue.
Let me speak.
Uh-huh.
First of all, it depends. This is why I'm saying it. We've signed him for 7 years with an 8 years option or something of that.
7.5.
So that means there's the 100 million, and like let's say you guys would sign him for 5 years.
No, stop
for
trying
80.
to confuse us. No.
it's a
I
comparative.
refuse. No. No, there is something, first of all, before you continue, I will not let you confuse the masses. You want to tell us that the deal is over 8 years, so the deal is not really about 5 years, so it is not 100 million. My friend, you are still paying 100 million for a player, whether you are paying it in 2 years or 100 years. It is still 100 million. And the question is he worth 100 million? Don't tell me because you are paying 20 million now and 10 million in the summer and 10 million until 8 years are done, that is not 100 million. It is still 100 million, whether you are paying it over 8 years or 1 year. So the question is he worth 100 million? I'm not talking about FFP rules. I'm talking about Mikalo Mudryk for 100 million to Chelsea. Is he worth 100 million?
All right, first you would need to give me the chance to.
No, don't confuse the masses.
No. You need to give me the chance to.
Yeah, continue.
First of all, like I would ask you a simple question: who defines the value of the player?
I think the quality of the player defines his value.
And quality again, who defines the quality?
If the quality is defined by the quality, you cannot start asking questions.
it's the
No.
same thing.
Dan.
And that is why-
Let's talk about this and the people.
That is why-
Let
that is
me
why-
talk about somebody who has been signing players. This team has signed players, very expensive, but I think all of them have been worth the money. Van Dijk 75 million, too much, but his quality is quality. He's shown he looked like a 75 million player. Talk about who? Let's go. You signed who? 60 million. Whom did you? You've signed so many people.
Well, okay.
But now my question
about
is,
it.
let me tell you, the
Think
reason
about
I'm saying
it.
it's not 100 million. There is no way you're signing a player for 100 million. He has played less than a season of football. Literally. 2, he has been playing in the Ukrainian league. Literally. It's like us paying 72 million for Pepe. But much worse.
No,
You see?
Now you're deviating.
No, I'm not
I'm
deviating. I'm
saying
just
why.
saying, is his quality worth 100 million? Because with quality, you must think of very many things. One, is he good on different occasions of the ball? Let's say, how good is he in tight spaces? How good is he in possession? Because I think the most you have seen with him is he's good in transitions. But you need more than transitions for 100 million.
Wait, first of all, did you watch the Liverpool game?
Yes, I did.
You saw he created chances.
Yes, for 2 minutes, but at the same time, I saw he lost possession a few times.
No. So,
You see, the
but
question is-
those chances could have made a difference.
He's not. You cannot tell me because of that he's 100 million.
So
Let me
I'm just telling you because you have not watched him enough.
No. I've watched him enough. That's why I'm saying he's not worth 100 million. Because how much is? You see, one in possession. How good is he in possession? How good is he when you really need to break down a team? When the team is sitting back, you see, there is a difference between when he was playing there and in the Champions League. Most of the goals he scored was in transition. Get the ball into space, kill the team.
Right, we would go on and on and not finish this discussion.
Okay, let's do this. The Mikalo deal. A question, a yes or a no question. Is he worth 100 million?
I think I'll say a no. Maybe a 70. 70 would be very fair.
And
But
to me, it's
again,
still too much.
But again, as we've said about Van Dijk, you see Van Dijk, we all complained he was too expensive. Then he proved himself. Maybe this player will also.
And
Maybe,
again,
but-
and again, that is how many years ago? Probably right now Van Dijk could be sold for 100, right?
No, still 75.
No, still 75.
Still 75.
It depends.
No.
I'm
Just
telling you,
because you have
are we
overpaid.
talking about the Van Dijk then or the Van Dijk now?
No, the Van Dijk then
Still 75.
at this market.
Yeah.
Still
the
75.
market value.
Let me
are
tell
going
you,
higher.
the market value where it has gone wrong is the winger position because of a team from Manchester in blue, in red. Because that team decided to pay 100 million for a fidget player who turns around with the ball. They destroyed the market because the Shakhtar was saying if Anthony is another 100 million, our play is more than 100 million. So definitely you are going to give us 100 million minimum. You see, they destroyed the winger market.
And also see the spotlight on Anthony
Mm.
and how everyone is just looking. Slight mistakes.
Exactly.
Everyone. Anthony.
Is he worth 100
So
million?
the same will apply.
So-
You see, when he came,
Fine.
let me tell you, let me just use an example. He has said, the first game, when Anthony came, the first game was against us, he scored that goal and people are like, wow, Anthony, that's why we signed him for 100 million. And now, people are like, they wasted the man, even Manchester United fans.
Alright,
So-
all right. What I would say is it is too early to discuss whether he will prove the 100 or not.
Not worth 100.
I'll tell you.
Okay,
guys why. I'll
it
tell
was
you
a question
guys why.
everybody, so is he worth 100 or not? Or
Well, I'll say yes because we signed him and we have the money. So,
So it's true you guys are overspending on players.
no, it is okay. Overspending again is relative, but okay. This is what I say. This is what I say. Chelsea have the money, right? So even if they overspend and they get their objective done, probably that's their philosophy.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is no pain if you decide to buy a product and you value it at 100.
Okay.
So it does
Let me just go somewhere. Whom did Chelsea buy in the summer for 100 million or close to 100? And this season, when this season started, they sent him back on loan, and he went and said he should never have left. Was there no pain or no gain? Lukaku came. No. You signed him for how many million?
90.
Exactly. How many seasons did he play?
But it's
Literally one, and then you sent him back on loan and he said he should never have left there. And he's now dissing and trashing Chelsea. That is one. How much did you sign Timo Werner?
Timano was like 50
And
something.
it was 60, close to 70. And then
No,
he
it's
came
not
and now
70.
he's
It's
whatever,
cannot get-
60.
It is 60.
Whatever,
But
he's still.
Timo Werner was
What?
part of the Champions League.
I'm not
squad.
refused. There's a reason you sold him, because he's not worth that money, and he's not producing the goods worth that money. You see, at the end of the day, it's about is he worth? You see, you've sent so many players of so too much money, and it is costing you. So for the Mikhailo Mudryk, okay, maybe I'm biased because I'm an Arsenal fan. I hate us seeing losing money. The Pepe deal hurt me. It really. So me thinking about signing 100 million and then the player comes and then he's another Anthony. He might be good maybe, but maybe he needs a little bit of more coaching. Maybe he needs to be taught to be in possession. That means he's not worth 100 million, probably 70. I get Manu destroyed the winger dealings because every person is, if Anthony is worth 100, then my player is worth this much. See, but anyway, let's move on because the Mikhailo deal.
I understand, but again, you also need to understand we probably paid 5 million more than you're willing, or 10 million.
Yeah, and it was bad for me. I felt we were overpaying.
Which means that either way, if the deal was to be done, it was to be done at that cost, or probably you guys would have taken him if you didn't give 5
Yes,
million
and
more.
it will still have been overpaying.
But if you ask me, I can tip that Mudryk would be a success. If you ask me, that is just that is my personal opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
Will it be a success now, or will it be a success in the future?
Whether it's now in the future,
No.
it's
No. It's about what your opinion is. Is it now or is it in the future? Is it going to give immediate impact continuing into the future, or is somebody who you are signing to be a star in the future?
Well, I think he's just a work in progress. That is to mean his form. His form will always.
I'm not.
His form will always. He'll always be better.
You see, me. There's one thing I say about Chelsea. You see, Chelsea don't sign players for the future. Chelsea sign players for now.
Exactly.
It's either you
But-
come
but-
now
And perform now.
or else we are going to think otherwise.
Exactly. That is why I
the
feel so.
philosophy has changed.
Which
Which
philosophy?
philosophy has changed?
You guys are even signing more than when.
The only thing.
Let me tell you, you are saying your philosophy has changed. You have Lovikilu, Colwill, who's doing well at Brighton right now, who is on loan at Brighton. But at the same time, you went ahead and signed a defender from Mallorca, and you have Koulibaly and all the others. And then you say your philosophy has changed and you're going to give chance to young players.
Think about it. Think about
Which
it.
philosophy?
Think about
You-
it.
you
Think
have-
about it. Think about it. We are giving them long-term contracts. That means if the philosophy is still
You are doing it to help to run away from
No, no,
FFP.
no, no,
Don't
no, no,
try
no.
and play us here.
No, I'm not telling
It's
you.
a deal to run away from FFP,
Okay,
not because
but I
you
think-
expect them to be as good for all those years.
Well, I think we are over discussing. we are beating around. We are beating around the bush instead of going to the real thing because we might take long.
Anyway, let's go to the
Do
next
this.
deal then.
But I think for me, if you ask me my opinion, Mudryk was something that we can do with for the next 7 years, and I think it's a good deal. Even if you can pay for Anthony for 100, you can pay for this guy from Liverpool for 100.
Nah.
Mudryk is just good for 100. Yeah.
Okay, what I'll say.
If you can pay Grealish for 100 still.
Grealish is a good player.
Okay, what I'll say is this. Let me just. This is the last thing I'll say about the Mudryk deal. Hopefully, but what I'll say is this. One, just because other people are overpaying does not mean you have to overpay. That is one. Two, just because Anthony is going for 100 does not mean you also give out 100. Just because Grealish is going for 100 does not mean you have to do that. The Grealish deal was actually a clause. It was not literally a negotiation. Negotiation, you need to try and get that player to the market value or less, unless it's a clause you're paying. So one, the Mudryk deal, there is no way you are signing a player for the future. Because to me, Mudryk will be a good player in the future, but not now. You don't pay 100 million now for a player who will be good in 2 seasons. You pay 100 million now for a player who's coming to play now and be a starter now and be the best player in that team. Now, he must come and be the Hazard, even better than Hazard now, not next year, not the next season. For 100 million, you need to perform now. That is why I was also against us signing him for that 90 or whatever million I wanted to sign him for.
But chances are, if you look at Arsenal players, they thought that Mudryk is they think that Mudryk is a bad player after Chelsea took him.
No, I've not said he's a bad player.
It's not necessarily bad.
I'm saying he's not worth 100
but
million.
you're saying the deal is bad just because you don't.
No, because he's worth 100. They also said even if Arsenal got him for 90, it would have been a bad deal. That is overpaying for a player. He's 60, 70 million at best. Because he's somebody who's going to be good in the future, in 2 seasons. Not now. Okay, example, Fabio Vieira. He's going to be a fantastic player. But now, he looks ishi not physically now. But he has that 2 moments, 3 moments of magic. He kills you with a few passes, you see. But he's not that player who's going to come and dominate games now.
But
you see, that is the quality you pay for that money. But if Mudryk does not come and become a Hazard now, then you have overpaid.
Then this is the thing that I would tell you. So we had to pay 100 million because chances are we had to hijack the deal from Arsenal. Because if let's say for example, if you knew De Bruyne would be the KDB of right now, and maybe Man City were buying him for 60 million, and you had the chance of buying him for 70, would you not buy him?
Pardon, if KDB?
If he knew. But you see, you guys.
No. You see, no. So let me say this. Let me tell you, KDB that time, there is no way they were going to buy him for that 70 or whatever. Because that time was still unproven. He was good, but
Actually, when we bought KDB, the headlines were the 50M reject.
exactly, because you see, people thought they were and he took time before he actually became as good. You see, he did not have that season. KDB killing everyone. He took that season, and then the next season he grew.
And that is what I'm telling you. It's more of
you don't pay 100 million. My problem is the 100 million.
It's anticipation of the future.
You don't pay 100 million for anticipation. You pay 100 million for instant impact.
Anyway,
that way we are going to live there and you need to do other things.
I think Badiashile has been fantastic.
Yeah. So for 35 million, I think good deal for Chelsea. Was it 35 or 45? I don't know.
35.
Good deal for Chelsea. He looks fantastic, but probably should have recalled Lovie Colwill from Brighton.
No,
But-
he's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not
For me,
refused,
for
but
me, if you ask me, I think he's worth the bill.
just tell us Lovie Colwill. I will
Because I
appreciate
think
it.
for Dacho Fofana was like 10 million. Yeah.
To me, I think he's going to be a good player. I watched. There was a time Arsenal were linked with him, so I watched a bit of him, and he looked
Yeah.
good. He looked like a Jesus.
Yeah, Andre
black
Santos, Andre Santos is for
A
I'm not so
midfielder,
sure,
and he's
8
in the
million.
academy. Yeah,
Yeah, Joe Felix is a loan deal.
too much money.
Too much money.
But it's too much money.
Not because he was. Guys, I need to say this. No. Because Joao Felix got a red card in the last game. He cost Chelsea just 3 million for missing those 3-4 games. And he's not going to be playing, but he has cost Chelsea 3 million. So, and they still say they are not
No,
overpaying.
question. How do you quantify the millions per game?
No, you see, it's that time over the whole period, especially if it's a loan deal. It's the amount of money you have paid over the course of the loan period.
Yeah, probably the number of games is how you distribute the money, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so how many games are we left with? Probably.
I've not refused, but when I'm saying 3 million, it's 3 million because you have already counted. My friend, these memes are all over the social media. They are all over social media. When I tell you it's 3 million, it's 3 million. It's the most expensive red card.
Not really,
No,
because
don't say not really.
I would disagree.
About what? The money that you
The
are.
3 million.
How are you going to disagree?
Because these guys are saying it's a million per game. Yeah?
Yes.
And we have like how many games
You
left?
see, when you don't understand something, ask first. The 3 million they're talking about, it's not the 12 million of loan you've paid. It's the 12 million plus the salary you are paying Joao Felix over the course of that period. So how much will you be paying him over that time when he'll be playing? That's how it comes to 3 million. So my friend.
So how much do they pay him?
I don't know how much. People are saying on social media, I think it's 200 or 300k, I don't know. But I know it's 3 million because the people did the calculation. I just saw and laughed at Chelsea because the most expensive red card.
For you do not have the actual figures.
Do you have the actual figures?
I don't have, but
Exactly.
I can prove
How?
mathematically
Uh-huh.
that it does not make sense.
Prove it.
Because we have how many games do we have? Okay, it will take a lot of time, but I would just say well, 3 million it's okay because 3 million is still it's okay.
It's Chelsea. They have
It's
a
Chelsea.
Anyway,
It's
so
we
I
have the
think the question we should ask ourselves is, Chelsea have signed a lot of players during this.
How
during
do
this
they
window.
fit?
How do they fit in, and how will they impact Chelsea's?
Oh, let's first of all
performance?
finish. They signed a winger from PSV, Noni Madueke, for another crazy amount of money.
How much?
I think it was 30 or something million.
It's 29 million.
Whatever, it's too much.
Okay.
And they signed a right back. Okay, first of all, let me now, excluding the money, Chelsea did fantastic dealings. If I take away the money and whatever crazy amounts they paid, good dealings, because they needed somebody who can create something and can also play as a false nine and an outlet. Joao Felix was fantastic. They needed at least 2 wingers who could take their man. Mudryk and Noni Madueke fit the bill. They needed a cover for Reece James at right back. They got him. Fantastic dealing. Koulibaly was not looking like a good centre-back worth the Premier League. They went to the market, got the guy from Monaco. He's looking better and better each and every game. So excluding all the amount of money they paid, I would have given the Chelsea transfer probably a 7 or an 8. But now, because of the money that they paid, they are destroying the market and whatever they're doing, it drops to a 4 or 5 there because you cannot pay that much money.
No,
when
I
if you are trying to secure.
I just think if you look at the transfers we did, we are probably gonna overpay for 2 people. The rest, I think.
I think the only person I will say not
the rest-
overpaid is the centre back.
The rest is it's a
There is
fair-
a-
because
let me first-
Malo Gusto is a fantastic player.
I think the reason, let me clarify why I said the guy from PSV you have overpaid. The guy from PSV has been injury prone in PSV. He's a fantastic player, but he's too injury prone. That is why people were a bit scared. That's why I'm saying for that amount of money, I was seeing some banter between Ajax and PSV. And then there was an Ajax guy who told PSV they have scammed Chelsea of that player. And then the PSV guy, aren't you the guys who sold Anthony for 100 million? They said, yeah, we also scammed Manchester United. So,
But to lose 29, you can gamble 29 million over 7 years, right? It's
Don't say over 7 years. It's still 29 million.
It is over 7 years.
Secondly, the 7 years is the contract period of the amount of money you're going to be paying him, not the amount of money you're going to be paying the club where he has come from.
Of course.
No,
Think about it.
Let me tell you, when you are signing somebody from a club, you negotiate the deal over different years. It does not really have to be the year of your contract. You can say the contract is 7 years, but we're still going to pay you in 4 years or in 5 years. You can also say, I will sign you for 5 years, but we'll pay the deal in 6 years. That is why you find a player has been sold and let's say Man U is still paying Sporting for Cristiano Ronaldo, yet he's at Real Madrid. Yeah, they have already sold him, he has finished the 5 years, but because of the deal they negotiated and the amount of money they are paying. For us, Pepe, we are still paying for Pepe. It's 5 years. It's not that necessarily that because the contract period of the player is 7 years, that means that the 100 million is paid over 7 years. It could be paid over 10. It could also be paid over 3.
Of course,
you have no idea.
I understand that. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, if you have a good quality, and let's say if I'm signed for 7 years, probably my contract would oblige me to be loyal to Chelsea for that period.
Okay, what I was dispensing was the fact that you're saying it's 29 million over 7 years.
That means even if we are injury prone and he happens to have a good form, we can still sell him in year 5 and recover the 29 million.
You see, the problem that is the problem there. Let me tell you about us as a team who have been struggling to sell players. The problem is, in case those players do not be good enough, or you'll struggle to offload them because their length of contract is big and the amount of money you're paying them is much. So clubs will be afraid to come and get your players for a lot of money. They will either want them for free or on loan or for little amounts of money.
But Chelsea don't overpay players. The wages.
Okay, not as much as Manchester United, but Mudryk is on how much? 100k a year. True or false? I think it's 100k a year because you paid like twice the amount of money or thrice the amount of money you are willing to pay.
Yeah, but 100k
you are going to give him, I think, 30 and you are...
It's not as much as compared. As in, okay, it depends. It just depends. But
guys, you might leave here. I'll shut up and let.
Yeah, you have said your bit. For me, I'd say these signings. To be honest, the debate of overpayment or not, I would not dwell on that. What I would say is I am glad that Chelsea are getting the signings that we want over the door. For me, I think that is what is important to me as a fan. Whether they are overpaying, it's a business thing that probably they will look into, and they know why they are overspending. And probably I would say I would just give Chelsea a 9 if they get Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah. Oh, but then we need to talk. Okay.
But because they haven't yet confirmed, so I would just think an 8 is okay for them.
Okay. Well, that's...
Yeah, I mean, if you have the money and you can go spend it, no matter how much your neighbor would say you're overspending, but you're getting the goods that suit you, that is just your in-house business.
Okay. The only thing I'll say about that is there is a reason Manchester United is not spending in January, and they know it's why. The fidget spinner cost them 100 million, and it's the reason they don't have money to spend in January. So continue overpaying. It's your money. None of our business. But when it comes to haunt you, it will haunt you. I serve no more.
But Manchester United are playing very well. They are playing very well. They probably don't need as much signings as we do.
Yeah. Anyway, I think let's wait and see how these signings will impact the tips.
Yeah.
We're still waiting to see if the Enzo Fernandez deal.
The Chelsea have been chasing it for the longest time.
120 million again, a lot of money.
And they're spending, I don't know, over 600 million in.
But it's the only time we have to spend this amount because. Again, you guys went and we could not do it next summer, so we better just do it right now.
Okay, I don't want to dwell too much in these issues, but I just have something that I've not mentioned. You see, when you sign a player and you spend too much, there is a certain risk that you come with because injuries are not planned for. For example, now Manchester United Eriksen is injured. They did not plan, so they had to go and get a player in. Mm-hmm. So, in case, sorry to say, somehow Mudryk or somebody they have signed gets injured, and then they need to now actually go back and get somebody in, considering the amount of money they have already spent. It might be difficult for them to actually spend money. But anyway, you cannot plan for injuries because injuries happen. But anyway,
Wow.
I think that's all I have to say on this topic. I'll let Obiri finish if he has anything, and Dan, God help me, shut my mouth.
Like what I would say is as a Chelsea philosophy, our philosophy allows us to spend the money, and if we and we do not dwell on the loss. For example, you would say that when we spent 90 million for Lukaku 98, we did not blink twice to think of taking him on a loan. Yeah. And we are not even thinking of him in our plans right now. So I would just say that, again, for me as a fan, it is nice. You guys keep on spending. We love it. As long as the money is there. Well, because ideally the Abramovich era has been about spending, and you can attest to the number of trophies.
Let me give a fun fact. Just one fun fact. Bakayoko is still a Chelsea player who is on loan.
No, I think they sold him.
No, he's on loan.
Still alone there.
Are you sure?
Yes, because there was a team, I think Reims, who were negotiating with Chelsea to get him on loan this season. So, yeah.
Okay, guys, I
It's
think
okay.
we have
Yeah,
less than
we need
5
to-
hours
we
to the end of the transfer window.
Yeah, and there is a lot that can go on.
There's a lot can go on, but I'm saying the Jorginho transfer is a done deal.
Arsenal have announced him
Yes. So it's until 2024. So
with an option for 1 year.
Yeah. So let's.
Jorginho knows he needs to add the Premier League medal to his tally. So good for him. Good for him. He knows what's good for him.
Yeah. So I think the next episode we will give guys maybe the other transfers.
I think let me shout out a few guys. There are a few guys who are always comment on our show. There is one guy, Moas. I want to say we always see your comments, so even if sometimes you don't reply to your comments on YouTube, we see them and we love the engagement. So that's why I'm shouting out. So Moas, continue watching. We enjoy all the new subscribers. We see you. Continue. I hope you love what we do. We enjoy what we do. We continue giving you information. Tell us where you want us to improve, if there is anywhere you want us to improve, or continue doing if you're doing big up. Yeah. And we love the love. We love. I think it's must. There is somebody else I've forgotten.
There's Mushina just first.
Yeah. We always see your comments, so don't think that you don't see them. We see them, and
there's another
goodness.
guy.
The Mas and the Mushina, the ones I usually see very often.
Anyway, yeah, a lot of guys also on TikTok and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get that list in the next episode and give you guys a
proper shout out, but I just wanted to give you that short shout out and continue. I hope you love what we do. That's been the transfer period, not done. 5 hours to go. Probably all big deals are done apart from 1 or 2, Enzo and maybe Sabitzer. But yeah, the Premier League looks to be even more competitive when it comes to the second leg. I can't wait. I can't wait because now it's going to be hot. This is the transfer episode, but we're still going to have a lot to talk about. We have the games that are coming up. We have FPL because the people have not been doing well in the FPL. So we have a lot. We have a lot to talk about. So guys, I hope you're enjoying, and let's continue talking. Continue the conversation on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube on the comment section. And see you in the next episode. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.